Hello, friends. Welcome back. On today's video, we are going to talk a little bit more about the Wild Africa Trek tour in Animal Kingdom. If you watched my video a few weeks ago, my day 5 video of my last Disney trip, I did include that in the beginning, but I didn't go into a lot of detail about what it is and what it's about. So that's what we're going to talk through this video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Andrea. This is my space where I talk about all things Disney so that I can stop bothering my family and friends jabbering about it. So thanks for being here, and I hope you enjoy. All right, so let's get started. What is the Wild Africa Trek Tour? So it takes place in Animal Kingdom, and what it is a 3-hour private guided tour. Now, I will say Disney calls it a private tour. I consider it more of a semi-private tour. It's small. I think they take 10 people per tour, but it's not like only your party, right? So you will be with strangers, but it is small. So I consider that semi-private. It's a 3-hour tour. They run it 3 times a day. The times, I think it's 8:45, 11:45, and 12:30. I will say the 8:45 slot is always the first to go. We were able to get that slot. We had our travel agent book us 60 days out. As soon as we were able to, she booked it right in the morning, and so we were able to get it. So I recommend, if once you watch this or if you've heard about it and it's something you want to do and you want that morning slot, to do it right away as soon as that 60 days hits and you're able to do so. I think one of the reasons that is the most popular spot is because, just like with the safari, that is when the animals tend to be the most active, and that was definitely our experience when we went on the tour. So the tour costs about around $230 per person. You do have to be, I want to say you have to be 7 or 8 and up in order to go on the tour. I think it's 8. I can double check. But so it's definitely not something you want to do with like very little kids. Um, it is also more physical, right? Like you are going to be walking on uneven pavement and kind of hiking a little bit through the forest there. So, you do want to be in good physical walking condition. I will say when we went on the tour, there was someone in our group, not someone with our party, but someone on the tour who was using a wheelchair. She was able to walk, so like she wasn't using the wheelchair on the tour. She did have some mobility. Um, I don't know what her exact situation was. So I mean, you could always call and ask them more detailed questions if you do need some sort of accommodations, to see how intense it is for you. Um, so yeah, so for the $230, you get the 3-hour semi-private tour, which does include a walking path through the forest. It includes some exclusive access to viewing the animals, and like a private safari. And then it also includes they call it a snack, but really I think it's a meal, right? It filled us up, and we'll get more into what that encompassed a little bit later. And then you also get a bunch of photos. So you have professional photographers, they're trained, the tour guides, to take photos. They take photos of all the animals, they take photos of you, both candid and posed. And so, I mean, they probably sent us, I don't know, 50 plus photos afterwards. So that was a really nice bonus. And I actually think I'm going to have them printed and put in a book or something, just as like a nice memory, so that they're not just living on my phone, because they are really good pictures. I might even have some printed out and put up on my walls. Um, so yeah, so that's a little bit background on the tour. So when we went, as I mentioned, we were the 8:45 slot. They do ask that you get there about 30 minutes early so that you can get checked in. They can make sure everyone's accounted for. We walked up to the little tent. I think it's the Creature Comforts tent, or maybe that's the Starbucks name. We walked up to a tent. They tell you where to go. We had to sign a waiver, like a release waiver, liability waiver. And then they kind of gave us a quick rundown on safety. From there, they did give us like a 15-minute break. So we were able to run, use the bathroom. I grabbed like a pack of nuts from the gift shop to eat because we hadn't eaten yet. Um, so, just know that you will have a short break before the tour actually begins to do those sorts of things. It's not like a huge break. I wouldn't run and go get like a coffee or a quick service breakfast sandwich or anything like that because you wouldn't actually have time to eat. But enough time to run and use the bathroom if needed. From there, we gathered as a group, and then they walked us into the tour entrance, which is actually connected to this. It's the same entrance as the safari, except the safari you go to the left, and for wild Africa you go to the right. You put everything in a locker. So the only thing we were allowed to bring with us where was our phone, and they didn't want anything extra on the phone except for a case. So like my sister-in-law had one of those stick-on like silicone or suction cup grippies on there, and they actually asked if she could take it off. I don't remember if she actually could take it off and if they said it was okay for her to keep it. But they definitely prefer that you don't have anything like that on your phone because they don't want anything that could like fall off and like, get into the animal habitat. Then you are allowed to take your sunglasses or glasses if you have them, and you can wear like a hat or Mickey ears if you think it's secure and it's not gonna fall off. So in this case, I did keep my Mickey ears on. They were a secure pair. I definitely have pairs of Mickey ears that I wouldn't have kept on because, they move around a little bit more. But those ones I felt good keeping on. Um, so then they go, I will tell you, they do weigh you. So if that is something that you are sensitive about, know that that does happen. They don't read out the number. You don't have to see the number. They don't tell you the number, nothing like that. But they do weigh you so that they know what size harness and safety vest to give you. So you get in line, you get weighed, they give you your vest, they put it on, then you get a strap for your phone and they tie it to your case for you to make sure it's secure. They will give you a strap for your glasses or your sunglasses to wear around your neck. And then they will also give you a headset. So, and the reason for the headset is that a lot of the times on the tour, you might be walking in a line. And so if the guide is at the front talking and you are the 10th person in line, it's very difficult to hear what she's saying. And so the headset just really helps you listen because they do give out a ton of really interesting information. Then they will also give you a water bottle. That is actually another thing that you get for the $230. You do get to keep the water bottle. Hold on, let me go grab it and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is the water bottle that you get. Sans all of the stickers. Those were added by my son. So it is just a stainless steel water bottle, has a screw on top that opens, and then they give you this little carabiner. That's actually how it clips to your vest. It says Disney's Animal Kingdom, Wild Africa Trek. So yeah, it's kind of cool. I ended up, as I've said a million times in my videos, my son really loves the ride Dinosaur and Animal Kingdom. And so when I got home, I said, hey, like, do you want this water bottle? Even though I actually really like it too. He said yes, and then we had to buy him some dinosaur ride specific stickers that are water resistant off of a case so he could decorate it. So anyway, that's the water bottle that you get to keep. So yeah, so you get all the stuff and then they check you, they check your vest, they make sure everything is secured tightly, and then someone else comes and does a double check to make sure everything's correct. Then they line you up and they give you just the lowdown of what to expect, what you're going to experience, some more safety talks, and then you're on your way. And so you start walking through the Gorilla Falls Trail, you'll walk through the aviary, you will do a little hike through the woods there. The animals that we got to see were the hippo, that's where we started. They were super cute. I won't go into too much detail here because if you go on the tour, I want you to be surprised and learn something new. But that was really nice. They had um, someone come out and kind of explain how they train the hippos, how they care for them, and then we got to feed, or well, we didn't get to feed them. They fed the hippos in front of us, and so we got to see that. And they actually at this part, they hook you onto like a safety system. They hook your harness up with the carabiners, and so you can actually go out kind of on the edge, um, and almost like hang over a little bit to get a really nice view of the hippos. And so that was really cool. Um, you can watch them eat. They tell you all about them, their teeth and how they eat and all of that stuff. From there, we went to probably one of the highlights of the tour is the rope bridges. So you will cross over two of them, and these do go over like the wetlands, specifically where the crocodiles are. So you're walking over crocodiles. Um, they take pictures of you crossing the bridge, which is really cool. Um, and it's just a really neat experience that you don't get to have every day. Um, so that was very cool. Again, you are hooked onto a safety system so that if something, God forbid, happened and you slipped or you fell, you are safely harnessed. You're not gonna like fall down into the crocodiles. But another reason why they do make sure everything is secured on you because they don't want you dropping your phone into the crocodile pit as well. Um, so yeah, so you do that. Then someone comes and they do talk to you a little bit about the crocodiles. And again, similar to the hippos, they put you on a safety system and you kind of get to go out to the edge and kind of look over and see the crocodile. Um, let's see, from there, you will get on your private safari. They take you around just like they do on the regular safari, except on this one, you get a ton more information, right? So like they'll pull over, like if you have questions about something or if they have more to tell about a specific animal, they will pull over and stop. Um, so that was very, very interesting and informative. They tell you all about like how the animals came to them. If they have like a new animal, they'll tell you about like, breeding habits, stuff like that. They tell you about, how Animal Kingdom was built. So just very interesting, very informative. Um, I kind of wish I could have just been taking notes or like recording it, transcribing it, because it was a lot of information and it was all very interesting. Then they will drive you over to the Boma. Boma means safe space, and so it's basically an area on the savannah, like a raised platform on the savannah where you can kind of look out and you can see all the different animals and places where they live. I think I saw like giraffes and elephants, and I can't remember what other animals were out there. But you can have some time. There's also bathrooms there, so if you need to use the bathroom, you can do so there. Um, and then that is where you will have your snack. So what was in the snack? The snack, it comes in this really cool like container. Um, so you take it apart. It's two layers. I believe we had like some sort of like shrimp curry. We had a chicken wrap. There was like a little like granola cookie bar, kind of like a 7-layer cookie or a 7-layer bar. That's what it tasted like to me. That's your like dessert. There was some mozzarella balls, turkey, like a little olive, an onion, like pickled onion dish. Um, what else? That's all I can remember at the moment. And then you also get pod juice, which of course is delicious. So yeah, overall, I mean, the snack was just perfect for that experience, and it was so good. Um, like definitely filling, but also light enough for all of that activity. Once we finished up there, we did some more of the safari, looked at like the lions, we saw a warthog, which is absolutely adorable. I don't know that I've ever actually seen a real one. That might be my favorite animal now. Um, super cute. Um, and then yeah, and then it was time to finish up the tour. We went back to the home base. They took off all of our stuff. We got our stuff out of the lockers, and then they gave us a card with a code on it. And so you add that code into your photo pass gallery, and then within a couple days, like all of the images will show up there. Um, yeah, and that's pretty much it. Highly recommended. I mean, probably the coolest thing I've done at Disney World. Probably one of the top things I've done just ever, right? Obviously, if you have the ability to go do like a real safari in Africa, that's going to be amazing. But for something that you can do here, it's a cool thing to do that's not going to cost you thousands of dollars like an actual safari. Um, so yeah, so highly recommend, especially if you have like older kids who are into that kind of stuff. On ours, there were two kids on it as well who were probably like 8 and 10 or something like that. And they seemed to have a good time. They didn't eat a lot of the lunch, and I don't think my kids would either. But I think they still had a really nice time as well. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. And thanks for watching as always. All right, we will see you guys next week. Bye now.